poppin', y'all? It's your girl Willie. Hey, what's up? Hello. Today I'm going to be talking about the Netflix original series When They See Us. This series was a lot to take in. I watched the first episode and I just had to just step away for a couple of days to fully get through it because it was a lot to deal with emotionally, a lot to process, but I got through it eventually, and I want to just have this breakdown with y'all, right? This 4-part series follows the 1989 case of the Central Park 5 victims that consisted of 5 teenage Black and Hispanic boys that were wrongfully convicted of the rape of a white woman in Central Park, New York. So this case was spearheaded by the criminal sex investigator Lisa Fairstein alongside the very much so corrupt detectives of the New York Police Department. Before I dive into tumultuous, emotional roller coaster that was When They See Us, I have to give it up for all the actors. The acting in this series was through the roof. Of course, they had a lot of heavy names that were starred in it, from the parents down to the young boys. I felt as though the breaking stars and the vets, they were all just excellent, to say the least. Jarrell Jerome, he really stood out to me the most. He played his character Corey to the T. He did a phenomenal job. I was watching the side-by-side videos of the original Corey confession and his, and I have to say, Jarrell Jerome, excellent performance. He played his character from when he was a small boy all the way up to his adulthood, and he did not miss one beat. So I have to really give it up for his performance. The cinematographers, the writing, I'm someone, when I'm watching films, especially films that are supposed to be set in the past, I love looking for those fine details of just fashion, cars, street, and they hit everything on the nail, from the press, everything. The brilliant Ava DuVernay, who sat in the driver's seat as director, creator, writer, excellent, all around, just full of excellence. The entire craftsmanship of this project was meticulous and well executed. So I have to give it up to them for a job well done. I love the chronological breakdown that each episode had, the order that it fell in, with episode 1 capturing the before snapshot of everything, just their regular lives as teenagers, all the way up to when they were being detained by the detectives and them coercing the boys into a confession. I felt though every episode, the beginning, middle, and end, was solid, and the arc was beautiful. It wasn't rushed, it wasn't too slow. It moved along very well. From that episode 1, and then next we're picking up on the propaganda around the case, up to the verdict of the trial. Everything moved speedily. Then next, the 3rd episode, it went on to the impact of these boys being in prison, not only on them individually, but also on their families, because we forget the impact that the prison system has on a community, and not just on the individual alone. Because yes, they're the ones who have to carry out that sentence, but the burden's for everyone to bear. Everyone has to carry that burden. When old boy's mom didn't even have $10 to put on his books, I understand why people would say this is Black trauma porn, because of the rawness and the authenticity of these stories. It's triggering. It's because you can see yourself in it. I've had family go off to prison. I've had an uncle in prison and had to see the tolls that had on my grandmother. Like I've lived through that, so I get why people could say like, whoa, this very traumatizing, like our Black trauma for sale. Like that's I can understand why they feel as though that's what's being done. Let me hold that thought because I don't want to, skip anything. But yes, episode 3, very understanding of the family dynamic of when a loved one is in prison, right? And then finally ending with Corey's time when he enters prison as a child, literally just a 16-year-old boy who decided to like go to the prison sink with his friend, and now he's in Rikers Island. Like, Corey's story was, it touched my heart like the most. It was my favorite of them all. I don't even want to say favorite because like none of them were my favorite. Like I hated it. I didn't want any of that to happen to any of them. But Jerome's his performance with playing Corey was excellent. And he was 16, illiterate, and ended up the wrong place at the wrong time twice. Like, you hate to see it. And that same effort was used to paint every character, every boy in this story, and shoved their humanity into our face. You couldn't, as flawed as they were, you couldn't not have empathy for them. And I love that. I love her ability to do that. I love that ability for her to help us view the Black boys that are in our lives through them. My eldest nephew, I don't have any kids of my own, just an auntie of 5. My eldest nephew, he's 13, and this entire film, it riddled me with anxiety. Like, honestly, truly, thinking that him just making one wrong mistake, not even something not even mistake, because I don't think what those boys, any of them made a mistake. They were literally just in the wrong place at the wrong time, didn't know their rights, so they were able to get swindled over by the detectives, them along with their parents. Like Tron, his father persuading him into confession and to actually think that he and his son was going to go home that day. Like, it really just emphasized to me, like, okay, I gotta get my family informed. I need to get my household informed on the laws, their rights, because that was such a minor, that was such, I want to say stupid, because that's really the word I want to use towards Tron's father. I really, toward the end when he was sick and like dying, little to no empathy, because it was like, come on, really? You're gonna force your son into confession because what? You have a criminal past and you don't want them to bring that back up. I get that. I don't want to judge a parent for like acting in fear. I'm sure he didn't have any intent for his son to be in prison. I'm sure he had his son's best interest at heart, but come on. Use your brain. Think. I think the writers did a great job on capturing this story, capturing the tone of the time, and there were little to no like lighthearted release through it, like no real comedy. And I think that's the main place where people say that this is Black trauma porn, because it's just 4+ hours, I think maybe 6 hours of just like Black trauma on our screen nonstop. Like that's really where like the whole argument comes from. But I honestly do not believe that there was any other way for this story to be told without it leaving a sour taste in our mouths. I think that was the intention, for us to see the cruelness of our judicial system on innocent lives, right? Even the ending when they are coming together, they have the settlement, all that, it's still, I don't have the same resolved feeling that I have towards other endings. Like, I still felt like, damn, these kids' lives were taken away from them. Yeah, but I don't think that it's possible for us to leave without that sort of feelings with this type of story of being Black American in America and under the crushing foot of the judicial system. Like, I don't think there's any other way for that story to ever be told without it just being categorized as Black trauma porn. That's even like a genre? Like, sure, I don't think that's possible. And those stories, as triggering as they are, they still need to be told. They are still crucial. They're still necessary, because when we see cases like these play out, let me speak for myself. I feel so helpless. Like, there's nothing that I can do to improve the state of the world, for the world, for my well-being. And so to see a case like this and to have like Linda Fairstein like lose her deals and to actually see the repercussions follow her years later, like, I'm satisfied. I think it's worth it. I think that's an equal exchange to shed light on these stories so that justice can finally be served in its own way. Like, I'm here for it. My full support. But yes, y'all, that is my thoughts of this series. Tell me what you think about it, what you thought. Have you heard of the case? Were you alive when the case was going on? Do you feel as though our Black trauma shouldn't be told, or it shouldn't be up for sale? Where do you stand in this whole Black trauma porn conversation? Let me know. But yes, that's all I have for you guys. I'll check y'all out later. Peace.